and you keep current with what we're doing in the class. So now let's look at the syllabus in a little bit more detail. Okay, we're going to start off with page 1 of the syllabus, and I'm not going to go through every single detail. I'm just going to go over the most important information. First, the textbook in the class. Like I said, it's the 8th edition of Julia Wood's Gendered Lives. There are 8 editions of the book. It's most important that you have the 8th edition of the book. If you have an earlier edition of the book, and they do change a lot from edition to edition, you might not have information that ends up on the final exam or on the midterm exam. So in some classes, it might be okay for you to jump around on editions of a textbook and get whatever cheaper. In this class, I would really prefer that you have the 8th edition of the textbook. And then you're going to find a variety of reading packets and readings online. So if you go onto Beachboard, you'll notice a gender documents packet. I want you to print that and bring it with you to each and every class. And also while you're watching these online lectures, embedded in the lectures, sometimes you're going to have to complete activities. So sometimes you'll have to reference this packet. And also, online readings can be found on Beachboard. So all of your readings won't come from the primary text or Julia Wood book. Sometimes I'll have you read an academic essay, and all of that material should be you should find online. Okay, we're going to move on to page 2 of the syllabus and discuss the syllabus policy. I give you 2 free absences in this class. You can use those absences however you want. If you're sick and you can't come to class, that's fine. If you want to go to Las Vegas and gamble and have a good old time, that's fine. Don't feel compelled to email me and explain to me why you're absent. I treat all absences pretty much the same. You're given 2 free absences for the semester. You can't... and then if you're late 3 times, that also counts as an absence. The only time that you really need to contact me is if you're missing an exam or a presentation. The next thing that I want to discuss is the technology policy in the class. First, no cell phones at all. When you come into class, it needs to be in the off position. No checking what time it is on your cell phone. There's a clock in the room. Just no cell phones whatsoever. And don't try to get clever. Don't put the cell phone underneath your legs and start texting your friend as if I can't see it. This ain't my first time at the rodeo. I know what you're doing. So what will happen is if I see you texting or on your cell phone at all in class, I'll ask you to stay after class and you'll lose credit for that day. So if we took a quiz that day or there was a ticket out activity that day, any type of in-class activity, you'll automatically get a 0 on it. So just don't do it. Next, I don't allow laptops in the classroom. And the reason why I don't is based in communication research. Communication research indicates that people who work on their laptops in the context of a classroom feel very distracted because they're trying to engage in the real life world of the classroom, but then they get distracted by things that are happening online, checking email or instant messenger. So it's a distraction to the laptop user, but more importantly, it's a distraction to everybody who's sitting around the laptop user. Communication researchers indicate or posit that the screen glow distracts people sitting around people who are using a laptop, and also the tap, tap, tap of the keyboard. So no laptops in the classroom. Okay, we're going to go on to page 4 of the syllabus where I'll tell you what the major assignments in the class are. First, we're going to take roughly 10 quizzes over the course of the semester. The quizzes will cover readings that you were supposed to have done for that day. So it's important that you stay current with the readings or you're not going to do well on the quizzes. Next, there will be a midterm exam and a final exam. These exams roughly run around 50 questions. Sometimes they may be a little bit longer. The exams are multiple choice, true, false, and matching, and we will have exam reviews and a variety of games that we play that will help you review for the exam as well. And then finally, this semester, toward the end of the semester, you are going to have to get into groups and conduct a performance presentation that will be centered around one of the themes that we explore in the context of the class. And we will discuss the performance presentation. I mean, you can read the assignment yourself, but we'll discuss this presentation in more detail when I return on September 20th. So let me kind of explain to you how you should read the tentative schedule for the class. So go ahead down to the course calendar, and you will see that there are 4 columns here. The first column tells you the date. The second column tells you what topics we're going to be exploring that day. For instance, today is August 30th. By August 30th, you should complete the first online video lecture, which is the introduction to the course, which we're doing right now. The third column tells you what you should have read before you start that day. Coming into that day, this is what you should have read. So for example, on September 22nd, the topic that we'll discuss is gendered verbal communication. That day, you should have come into class having already completed Wood Chapter 5 and the Phillipson reading that can be located online. The final column in the tentative schedule tells you what assignments are due that day. So for instance, on October 6th, you should have already selected groups for your group presentation. On October 11th, we're taking the first exam, or the midterm exam. So that is an explanation of the course calendar in a nutshell. You'll notice that the first 5 days of class you are going to complete online, and I have detailed instructions for what you need to do every single day. These include YouTube lectures, videos that you need to watch, in-class activities. You need to bring, like I said at the beginning of this lecture, everything with you to class on September 20th because I won't accept any late work. Okay, so the days that you're going to be completing at home are August 30th, September 1st, September 8th, September 13th, and September 15th. And then our first in-class day will be September 20th. If for some reason that schedule changes and we'll end up meeting earlier, you'll receive an email and I'll explain to you that the schedule is going to change. We'll have less online video lecture days. We're actually going to meet in class sooner than I had anticipated. But if you don't receive an email saying that we're going to meet in class earlier than expected, assume that the schedule that you have in front of you is the schedule that we're going to follow for the semester. So our first in-class day will be September 20th, and from then on, every day we'll spend together. Then on the last page of the syllabus is your statement of personal responsibility. And this is a contract that I have everybody in my classes sign. And I have you sign this for two reasons. The first of which is you're acknowledging that you have read the syllabus. The expectation is you've read the syllabus from start to finish, and you agree with the policies coming into the class. So I don't want you coming up to me at the end of the semester and telling me that you think that the group presentation was unfair, or you don't agree with my laptop policy. By virtue of signing this contract, you're telling me that you understand the policies and that you agree to adhere to them. The second reason why I have you sign this is because I like to bring in sometimes freaky-deaky artifacts into class to demonstrate some of the concepts from the course lectures and readings. So I might bring in an episode of South Park or The Office or Sex and the City that might contain mild nudity or language or controversial themes. And it's okay if you feel uncomfortable with any of the artifacts that I bring in. If you feel uncomfortable, it's your responsibility to visit me in office hours so we can construct some type of alternate assignment for you. I'm open to that, and by signing this contract, it tells me that you accept the fact that I am going to bring in things that might challenge your beliefs, and it's your responsibility to come to me for some type of alternate assignment. So that is the introduction to COM 412. I look forward to seeing you soon. And I hope you enjoy all of the digital video lectures and days that I've constructed for you. Oh, and make sure that you sign this contract and bring it with you to our first in-class day.